Good morning and welcome to another Coffee Talk with Tank. I'm Keith/Tank, and this is a show where I discuss things that you want me to discuss, whether they live in the gaming world or not, but mostly probably gaming stuff, especially if I'm making up topics myself. Probably going to be gaming stuff, but I'm willing to answer any question that you might have or elaborate on anything or give my thoughts on anything that you might want me to discuss, so please comment below if you have a topic suggestion for next week or future videos. Otherwise, I'll think of something. But fortunately, this week we have a topic suggestion from someone in the community. Hail, the powerful dragon, Hailey Powers, whatever she appears as up here, has asked a question. Hale would like to know what my ideal video game would be. And I'll explain to you what my ideal video game would be. If I had unlimited budget and unlimited skill and unlimited hard drive space for this game to go on, this is the game that I would want to be made. And essentially this game would be like D&D, an open world, Dungeons and Dragons, huge, big, wide open world with biomes and forests and deserts and mountains and caves and catacombs and just a huge Dungeons and Dragons world with magic and all this other stuff, where you would get to maybe choose multiple characters or start out as just one. The main example, I'll just tell you how I'd play this game, and maybe my main example will be there is only one character in this game, and essentially your main character is like Aragorn, really, but without the royal heritage, and without like all the initial skill that he starts out with or whatever in the movies. Just like a woodsman, ranger kind of guy, decent with the bow, decent with a sword or an axe or whatever. But you get to choose how this character lives their life and goes and does their story. As far as combat, I'll get to the story in a minute. As far as combat is concerned, I like an action game. Love a game with action. None of this turn-based foolishness. For me, I want an action-y video game. I would love, because this is gonna be like a D&D kind of thing. You're gonna have bows, you're gonna have swords, axes, hammers, those kind of things. Magic. I like Skyrim magic a little bit. Maybe something in the vein of Skyrim magic, but it's gonna be a third-person game, not a first-person game. Sword play and stealth and stuff like that, I would like to steal from the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War series. I'm a big fan of the sword play in that Warner Brothers WB, Arkham Asylum, even Spider-Man, where you punch, get enough punches, you make a combo, you can do an execution, different stuff like that. Just see Shadow of War for really cool, fluid swordplay combat. And then for the bow and arrow stuff, I feel like for ranged things, I'd love to see Horizon Zero Dawn kind of bow combat. So a lot of times in video games, the bow either the bow or the sword, one or the other, like melee or ranged, feels like a secondary thing. Like, this is the main thing. We'll add in a bow just in case you want to shoot somebody from far away or whatever. I really want the ability to be able to, I can focus on bow combat. Like, if I want to just be a guy who's really good with the bow, like Aloy was in Horizon Zero Dawn or is, you can focus on upgrading your bow skills, and you can be Legolas and then just carry a dagger around or something whenever people get close. Or the opposite way, if you don't even want to use a bow, you don't even have to have one. You can just have a sword and a javelin or something, I don't know. And it's an art, in my dream world, this is kind of an RPG. You can go down different branching skill paths the longer that you play and level up and get your XP and stuff. But as far as what the game is, I really want it to be open. Kind of like Dungeons and Dragons could be. Imagine if you had an electronic DM that was always Matt Mercer level of DMing skill. And you just said, hey, I'm playing D&D by myself. I want to be my own character. Make a world for me to live in. And I want to go... I just want to be a monster hunter, or I want to be a treasure seeker, a treasure hunter. I want to be a vigilante. I want to create my own persona as a vigilante that saves people from dastardly devils. Just being able to branch out and go different places. Like, maybe your character is, you just want to hunt monsters. You just want to, go from town to town, seeing what people need, kind of like The Witcher. Or maybe you want to become a bard and go to the bard schools or whatever. So there's maybe some Skyrim Bethesda elements where you can go and learn and do all these different things. I think that would be super awesome in a video game if you could really do that well in a third-person action game. I think that would be really cool. There'd be plenty of enemies for you to fight. You'd have, bad guys, bandits, and people on the road. You'd have orcs or, the evil races of people, like the evil group of people who could have, their own army that was full of orcs and goblins and like Middle-earth stuff. Big monsters that you could hunt down, that kind of thing. I just think that would be super fun. Essentially, I'm saying it over and over again. I'm getting excited just at the thought of such a video game. But saying it over and over again, just a big, fat, open, third-person action Dungeons and Dragons game would be so cool to me, where you just get to choose what you want to do. And the story would kind of organically flow from that. It's like you don't start out as the chosen one. You don't start out as the guy who's going to save the world or whatever. Like, you never have to do that. You can just live in this world as a kind of an action hero type person without actually having to go and really finish anything. But within those different lanes of like monster hunting or treasure hunting or vigilantism or whatever, like there could be branching story paths within that area. So each kind of area would have a story, or maybe the stories also intersect. Like maybe you want to become a thief and you steal a thing that gives you a treasure map, and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to go hunt down this treasure. Well, you hunt down the treasure and you go find it, and you're like, well, actually, I don't want to be a thief anymore. I want to be a treasure guy. And that leads you to different cool open areas and catacombs and things where you find monsters that you fight. Oh, well, this is good. This is very lucrative to fight these monsters and bring back their parts. And maybe you become a monster hunter, and all these different things would be possible if in my ideal made-up video game. So, exciting thoughts. Probably never going to happen on the scale that I would like for it to do. Just a big, open, anything could happen Dungeons and Dragons world, but that also has very cool, grounded action combat. I'm sure it would be hard to make, hard to balance, hard to have fun in, maybe, whatever. But that'd be my dream game. A big, fat, open Dungeons and Dragons world, but also in third-person action style. So, Hale, thank you for the question. I really appreciate it. If you have other suggestions for things that you want to know about me, what my ideal video game is, what my favorite sandwich is, what my best childhood memory from video games is, anything like that, I would love to talk and answer those questions and learn how to make these videos better. You can let me know if these are entertaining or interesting, or if you look forward to these at all, or you can let me know if you don't like these and it was a bad call to make them. But either way, I hope you enjoy, and please remember that I'll see you next week in this video. I'm live every day, every weekday. But I'll see you next time. Please remember, I love you very much. Bye-bye.